Welcome to the lesson on squares, square roots, and powers, part of Middle School Math HD for the iPad. First, some terminology with powers. Every power has a base and it has an exponent. And what we do with powers is we multiply the base times itself, the number of times it tells us in the exponent. So it's not 4 times 2 when we see 4 to the second power. It means 4 times 4. And there's some connections to area here for measurement. When we think of 5 to the second power, often we hear 5 squared. And what that means is if we think of 5 in a line, or 5 units in a line, and we were told, well, square that. Well, what does that mean to square it? Well, just make a square out of it. You know, if that's if the one line is 5 units, and if you're going to make a complete square, then the height of that square would also be 5 units. And then you can look at it, well, how much space is that actually covering, and it would be 25 units squared. So again, we got to be careful when we see that 5, and the two students always, often make that mistake, and they just think, okay, well, 5 times 2 is 10. Well, again, not what you do. You want to multiply 5 by itself to get 25. So we're not always, the exponent isn't always a 2. It can definitely change, and you'll see lots of numbers, lots of different exponents in Middle School Math HD. You'll see 3s and 4s and 5s, and but right now let's look at the connection to volume. So when we have that little 3 up there as an exponent, we say 2 to the third power, or sometimes if we're calculating volume, we say 2 cubed. And it's really just one step further than the last example. If we have a line that's 2 units long, and then we turn that and we multiply it by itself, so we say 2 squared, well, we can see that the front face of this cube is 4 centimeters squared. And if we take it one extra step and multiply it by that third dimension, which is the depth of the cube, we would just multiply that 4 times 2, or taken all together, 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8. So showing us that 2 to the third power really means 2 times 2 times 2. So 3 2's are included, d2 equal 8. Let's look at some examples here. So we have 3 to the 4th power and what that looks like. So it looks like 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And just maybe in your head for a quick second, try to figure that out. 3 times 3 is 9, times another 3 is 27, times another 3 is 81. 2 to the 5th power, so what that looks like is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So we start at 2 and we double. We go 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times another 2 is 16, times another 2 is 32. So 2 to the 5th power is equal to 32. Let's look now at finding the square root of a number. So really the opposite operation of squaring a number is finding the square root. So we're trying to find the square root of 9. On the right of the screen I have a box that has an area of 9 square units. So really we have to work backwards now, and if we know that the entire box has an area of 9 centimeters squared, then we need to figure out, okay, well, we can see clearly that even though it's a mystery, we can see clearly that line is 3 units long. So 3 units times 3 units is 9. So really what we've done is we've taken 9 when we've figured out the number that needs to be multiplied by itself to give us that product. Let's look at a few more examples. So the square root of 25. So we need to find the number that is multiplied by itself to give us the product 25. The answer is 5. The number that is multiplied by itself to get the product 81, 9. The number that's multiplied by itself to get 56. A little more challenging this time because there isn't a whole number that does that. But what we can do is estimate, and what we can do is use some benchmarks. We know that the square root of 49 is 7. And we also know that the square root of 64 is 8. 7 times 7 is 49, and 8 times 8 is 64. So the square root of 56 is going to be somewhere in the middle there. So I'm going to estimate it's around 7.5. I think the actual answer is 7.48, something, 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 but For the purposes of just showing how you can estimate with square roots, I think this is a good exercise. In any event, I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I hope you have lots of fun with Middle School Math HD for the iPad.